Hello everyone, this is Jeff again at Ferrari FXS. Today we're going to be changing the air filters on my Lamborghini Gallardo. I purchased some filters here. We're going to see if these work. Actually, these are off a 2012 Audi R8 5.2 liter. So they should be the same. We'll verify that. We'll take some dimensions and everything, but we'll check the dimensions of the throat here and the length and everything, diameter. But I believe they're going to be the same thing and at a fraction of the cost of the Lamborghini air filters. These are Beck Arnley, I guess you'd say. They're a 042-1938. So we're going to see if these fit. I mean, they look identical. They've got the little slot there. They've got a position or a spot here for your sensor on both. So really the only thing that would not make it work is if the diameter here is different or if the size of the filter, but I believe it's going to be the same. So like I said, we're going to try them out and see what happens. So we're going to go over here and raise this up to get access to the air filter air box. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take this shield off here, and then we'll be able to take the top of the air box apart, and then you can see your sensors here that we'll have to change over, and then we'll have to take the clamps loose here on each side. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we've removed the engine bay cover to expose the air box. And then I've removed all the screws here, or they've loosened all the screws. These are T25 Torx. So those are all loose now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I got a couple here on the bottom I didn't see. So I have to loosen those up yet too. So let me go ahead and loosen those up. Alright, so I've got the air box removed now. The cover is over here. So we've got our air filters exposed now. And I'm going to take off the sensors and loosen this boot next. And we'll see. That looks like that's a Torx bit also. I don't know if it's a 25. We'll see. No, that's a little smaller. It's a 20, possibly. Smaller than that. So this is a 15. Oh, this is going to have a safety torque, so it's got to have the hole in the middle. So let me see if I can gather one of those up. Okay, so there's a T20, and as you see, it's got to have this little hole in the center here. And as you can see, it fits right in. So that should remove that, and then we'll get those removed. And then we'll take this clamp loose also, and then the filter should come out. Okay, I've taken these screws out, and just note to self, it may be easier, because if you drop these screws right here, they're going to drop to no man's land. But I removed the sensor. It just pulls straight out. Like I said, you might want to disconnect your sensor from this Canon plug here, but I didn't. But if you're worried about losing the screws, well, I may have to on this side because the harness is not that long. So I'm going to have to remove that, looks like, and then I'll remove this worm clamp, and this filter should come out. Alright, so I've taken the sensors out now, and to release this connector, you have to push this little tab down here on the end. There's like a little tab, so and that'll release that. So I've loosened those up. So you just kind of pull, this is like in a slot here. You pull this up, and you should just be able to like kind of wiggle it out with that clamp loose, hopefully. There you are. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. You can see this is dirty, so they're due. So I'm going to go ahead and take these over here, and we'll size them up with the new ones just to make sure, because like I said, these were Lamborghini issued. These are Audi. But as you see here on the end, I don't know if you can see that, but that is an Audi symbol right there, as you can see. So I can't imagine that, probably not any different. So let me go ahead and pull this other one out. And like I said, these are a fraction of the cost if you buy them from a supplier than from Lamborghini. That's just kind of ridiculous, you know. So let me just kind of twist this. Like I said, a bit easier with two hands. I'm going to have to put this down, all right? So I've got the second one out. Like I said, let me go out here in the sunlight. As you can see, I don't know, that's probably not worse. But there's definitely Audi symbol on there. So we're going to go over here and match them up with the new ones. So here is one of the new ones. As you see here, we'll kind of line it up here. Everything looks like it's the same. But like I said, these are not Audi. They're back in Arnley. So as you can see, everything here looks identical. The only other thing I could check is just to make sure that this inlet size is the same, but I'm betting here that these are probably the same. So let me get a mic and mic them out. Okay, so I've got this mic here, and this is the old one, and it comes out. Let's see, it's kind of hard to do this and everything with one hand. So it's 3.145, and that's the same. Okay, there's no difference. So that's the same, so we're good there. As like I said, it's 3.14. I mean, it may vary a little bit on that measurement because, like I said, it's hard to do with one hand. Everything else looks the same. The heights are the same. Diameter of the filter is the same. So we're going to go ahead and swap these out. I'll put the sensors in there and I'll get them ready to reinstall. So before I install the sensor, I want to show you something here. You can see these are kind of idiot proof. So the holes are offset. The holes line up, and you can put it in this way, but your holes are off. So there's only one way you can install this sensor. And then I wouldn't touch the sensor. I just kind of like be careful with it. I wouldn't touch it too much on the ends. I would touch this on the plastic area here next to the connector. So you can only install these one way. So we're going to go ahead and put the screws in and get this ready to install. All right, so we've got our filters here ready. They're installed. Don't forget to torque your screws up, or they will vibrate out. They're very loose until you do the final torque. You can see the difference in the dirtiness of the filters. I don't know the last time these were changed. This car really didn't have any records. It'd been to the dealer a couple times, but the records I have are not specific what happened at the dealership. So I don't know when these have been changed. These could be the original filters as far as I know. This car has about 14,000 miles on it. It's a 2012 LP550-2. So I can't tell you when the last time these were changed, but I'm going to document everything, especially in the video and paperwork-wise. But you can see how dirty these are compared to the new ones. Last week I did a drive with the group, and we drove through a dust storm. I mean, it was really bad. So I'm not sure if that's why these are really dirty, but they're going to get changed anyway. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall these and go forward with this. So we've got everything installed here. Our clamps are tight on both sides. Our sensor, I I put the connector on, make sure it clicks. You can hear it click, so you know it's engaged. Like I said, this clamp is tight on this side. Don't forget to slide the filter on this piece here on both. So it's kind of got this groove that slides into, and then it is captured by the housing here also. So it holds everything in place. So you have some grooves up front here. Make sure they're engaged correctly, because you can place them in the wrong. You could place them in front here, but you'll have a difficulty getting everything to line up. So yeah, make sure everything's there lined up. Everything looks good. Make sure there's not anything big in your air box. Make sure there's filters in here. And your inlet screens are clean on both sides. So we're going to go ahead and put the cover back on and reassemble this. All right. All right, so I've got all my screws tightened up here all the way around. Don't forget to tighten them all the way around. And then this should all be lined up nice. There's like I said, there's a groove up front here that is lined up with the filter also. If not lined up, this won't sit correctly. So other than that, we're ready to put the shield back on here. So we'll finish this up here in a few seconds. As you can see here, we have everything hooked back up. Our engine cover is back in place, secure. All our fasteners are secured. As you can see, these connectors are all secure. Like I said, make sure those snap into place. And then we're going to go ahead and start it up. Make sure we don't have any codes right off the bat. Maybe you want to monitor for a few days, but you shouldn't have any codes if you did everything right. If you didn't hook up a sensor, you may get a code right away. So let me go ahead and start it up, and we'll see, make sure everything's running correctly, and we'll finish this up. All right, so we're going to give her a twirl here and see what happens. Our check engine light went out as normal. We'll let it run here until it does the start cycle and secondary air shuts off. You'll notice that the secondary air is on. It's going to be louder, and then once the secondary finishes its cycle, the car will idle down a little bit, and it'll smooth out, and it'll get a little quieter. But as you tell right now, everything is running normal. We have the red indicator because the engine compartment is open. So we'll go out here. Okay, your secondary air just kicking off. You can still hear it a little bit, but it's run its cycle. There it is, it's off. Idle seems normal. So this should conclude this video. Let me go ahead and shut it off, make sure there's no other indications of here. No check engine. So other than that, this should conclude this video of changing the air filters on a 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo. In conclusion, hey, please watch our YouTube videos. Please stay tuned in the future. We're going to be bringing you more videos on other stuff. We have a 355 Ferrari maybe coming in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. And then we may have some other projects, but we have some stuff in work. But anyway, subscribe and follow, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time.